Okay, we go. Hey, Coach Mitchell, men's basketball coach here. Super excited to be a part of the Day of Giving at Hope and help support the Orange and Blue Fund. We were asked to interview an alum that meant a lot to us as coaches, as a program, and I can't think of a better alum to bring to the interview than Harrison Blackledge. Harrison was a 2017 grad at Hope, All-American, double major, I believe, MVP of the league, Jostens Award winner, which goes to the outstanding student athlete in the country. And my goodness, how could I choose somebody different? But he's a humble man, so I have to mention all that stuff because Harrison is not going to mention any of that. But H, hey, welcome. So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. And you look good, man. I love it that it's game day gear for you right now. Which
always got to rep it. There's not as many Hope College alum out here in New Jersey and New York, up in Manhattan. So, I got to rep it when I can. And so any excuse to be wearing the blue and orange, like you said, I got to take advantage of it.
Nothing fires me up more. Well, hey, speaking of New Jersey, out east, let's get a life update. Talk to me. What are you doing? How you doing? And let everybody know what's going on with H.
Yeah, life is good. I've been out here with my wife in New Jersey the past almost 6 years. My wife was currently in medical school, is now in her second year of residency as an OBGYN. So that's what brought us out here. And I have to say I've become a full Jersey boy convert, I'm a Midwest through and through, so like when there's any bad mouthing going on, I have to just, slow them down a little bit. But I am just loving it out here in Jersey City, specifically in New Jersey. So northern New Jersey, right across the Hudson River from Manhattan. And I've been working in TV ad sales for basically the entire time being up here. So I originally was working with Warner Brothers for the past 4 years, and then recently moved over to a company called Televisa Univision, which specializes in Spanish language ads across the U.S. and Mexico. It's the largest media company when it comes to like that demographic. So I've been working there for about a year and loving it. Yeah, I've been very, very blessed to be surrounded with amazing teams. People who I work with directly on the day-to-day, supervisors, things of that nature that have just like really been great to me in my professional career now. So, athletically still try and stay, in some leagues as much as I can. I play probably like one for each season at least. There's actually a fun league that I get to be a part of that's down like the Jersey Shore, and it's played all outdoors every Saturday in the summer. And it's all, ex-college guys. So it's actually like incredibly good runs, really, really competitive. But that's like a fun way to try and, still stay involved and try and get up and down as much as I can. But I'm losing my step, Coach. I don't know, hearing you, bring up catching up on how the season's going makes me wish that I had an extra year of eligibility, but I don't know if I could take it anymore. I've lost the step a little bit.
Well, it's great that you talked about it, because that was my second question was, are you still hooping? Are you still staying active? And you look great, first of all. And I know you can still hoop. I know you guys came back a couple years ago and had a little bit of run. And, true confessions, H, you were never known for being incredibly athletic with a great vertical. It was about the IQ and the intelligence and the smart. So
a great pump fake player. I made my bread and butter at the free throw line. Yeah,
absolutely. You can assimilate to any condition. So I'm sure that up and under, shot fake, call out on the playground really, really well in New York and in New Jersey.
A lot of pivots. Yeah, a lot of pivots.
I love it. Well, that's good stuff. Well, hey, let's talk about memories. Think about your time at Hope and some of your memorable experiences as a student athlete, and just kind of share that as you look back at your time here.
Oh man, I mean, too many to count, truly. I mean, the number one has got to be the game against Washington St. Louis with Cody going off, with a 10, 11 threes in one game. That I think will always just be like numero uno for me. Just I think the entire feel of that team, specifically my senior year, that performance, which just felt otherworldly, and also just knocking off a great team. Like that just felt really, really good to beat a team of that caliber. That will, I think, always just, and at home too, in front of so many, Hope and Holland faithful. That was so cool. Something that I will always remember. I think of also like within that senior year, I think it might have been maybe the first Purple Out game that we did against Albion, the cancer recognition game. that I remember just being a really fun and emotional day as well. I mean, every Hope Calvin game, whether for better or for worse, that is just a memory that I'll always carry from freshman year on. Yeah, games wise, there's so many things to point back to, but it's really just all the in between. I think that I always reflect on when I think of who, my best friends staying in touch, whether it's, at this point, meeting up at weddings or trips that we can try and make to all see each other. It's just always the reminiscing on the in-betweens, which was the trainings, the practices, the bus rides, the hotels, just so many little, memories and inside jokes. And it's those things that really add a lot of color to me when I think back on that time, those 4 years with, some of my best friends to this day.
Yeah, I get to verify and validate that a little bit because, your housemate and one of your closest friends, Chad Carlson, being an assistant coach of mine, I know you guys are in a consistent, text thread and you stay in touch. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Hope College is it's a great 4-year window, but it never leaves you. And I get to see, like I said, validate your life with Chad and Cody and Ty and the guys. And it's just really neat to see that those things continue. You guys are spread all across the country, but you're still together essentially, which is awesome.
Yeah, it really has been. I was actually just reflecting on this with my wife of just we are truly like so spread out. I know the majority of our friend group is still kind of like in the Midwest there, whether that's like Grand Rapids, Holland, Chicago. But Keith Brushweiler's all the way in San Francisco, and before that, some of our friends were in Portland, and I'm all the way out here in New Jersey. And yet every year we find at least one weekend, to make it work somewhere. And it's not always coming back to Holland. Everyone has gone out to Seattle and San Francisco and Portland before. People have come all the way out here to New Jersey. We've done Nashville. Having a few weddings in years past was definitely like a good excuse to always have like one, event that we were all planning around. But that is a Hope difference where like that community and that friendship really will never die. And I think even with teammates or friends who maybe I'm not as close to on the day-to-day, even those reach out. It's like picking up right where we left off. And it is just like that fellowship and that brotherhood that's already, I think, cultivated at Hope, but specifically within the athletic program. From basketball, volleyball, baseball, football, there is just such a cohesion there that is really special, and I think is very unique, especially in a Division III setting like this, that makes Hope, yeah, exactly, so special.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that because we talk about that so often in the recruiting process, and we talk about those stories and how this is a place that springboards just lifelong relationships, and you're a testament to it, and it is just a real thing. Hey, let's talk a little bit about your athletics experience, the growth you experienced over your course, your 4 years here, and maybe how that growth has just benefited you now, life after Hope.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think obviously 4 years of competitive collegiate basketball is one thing, but the rest of your professional life is another, and there are so many things that you take away from that time, whether you realize it in the moment or not, that will impact you in the next stages in the next courses of your life. I think for me the biggest thing is I felt like I made the biggest jump as far as just my performance and my ability to, play at the highest level from my freshman to sophomore year. And I think that freshman year, you go from being, big fish in a small pond in high school, you feel like you've really leveled up, you're feeling, really on top of everything, to then going freshman year, and it's like a full reset. And so time is, playing time is looking different. Things that moves and the speed at which you were working at that was working back in high school is not working all of a sudden. And so freshman year was just a moment of kind of recalibration for me. And I think it would have been very easy for me to just kind of throw in the towel. It's like, like this isn't working. Or I think you see this a lot nowadays. It's just like, all right, well, I'm just going to go somewhere else where I can immediately have it all on my plate, fed to me, and transfer somewhere else. And I think having to stick with it, realizing that there were things that needed to be worked on, knowing that was attainable, and then making that jump from freshman to sophomore year, where sophomore year felt, okay, I'm way more in my groove, feeling like I can, really play my game to the best of my abilities. That is such a valuable lesson, and it just repeats itself over and over and over again. Where if something is not, and it sounds cliche and like basic, but I think that that's for a reason. It's because that is always going to come up in life, whether that's professionally or like personally in relationship. Knowing that something maybe is not at its fullest potential in the moment is not a reason to, call it quits and hit eject. Sometimes you just have to work it, and sometimes it's not immediate, and that's okay. Nothing that's worth attaining is usually going to be immediate. It's going to take work. It's going to take, putting your hours in and training and working and practicing, and that's going to make it more worth it when you do attain it. So I think that that's really been the biggest lesson and mindset coming out of my 4 years at Hope, is applying that to moments of, okay, now at work, if I'm trying to go for that next promotion, or there's a role that I'm interested in, how can I set myself up for the best success there, even if I don't feel like it in the moment? I know that I can get there, but right now it just is going to take work, and then trusting that process I've found invaluable to me.
Well, geez, we could have a 30-minute podcast on that subject alone with today's athlete, because when things are tough, kids bail. And so you're a testament to kind of the benefit of the whole experience, and to grind through, embrace challenges, and look at where you are now. So it certainly benefited you to just buy in and bet on yourself, basically, which is awesome.
Totally.
A few minutes left here. I want to hit on a couple other things. If there's a person on campus, when you think back of your time at Hope, that really impacted you and made a big difference in your life, who might that be?
Oh, I mean, shoot, I think it's got to just be you, Coach.
No,
I'm serious.
I am serious. I know that.
I'm joking, but I'm serious.
That's
I'm
nice,
joking, but I'm serious.
Right.
Truly, the entire coaching staff will always have just such an impact on who I was as a player and who I was as a person and as a man. I could not have asked for a better group of coaches to just be around us all in the day to day. Outside of that, which is the most obvious to me, I definitely have to say big shout out to my man Jerry Root. Rooter, that is truly, he is the man and known and beloved by so many around Holland. I hope that he's working on his golf game somewhere, just working on the drives, working on the short game, but he is instrumental to my walk in faith, without a doubt. I would not be the same Christian as I am today without him. Really came to me, as I kind of mentioned earlier, just at a time in freshman year that was really tough and adjusting and feeling a lot of stuff kind of, give way that I base a lot of my identity on. He was just so present and so patient and so gracious in just walking with me through that season. To the point where, he was truly my mentor, all through college, meeting, just about almost every Friday morning, going over what was going on in my life, what was going on in his life, reading the word together, going through book studies, things like that. That it was really, really special. And I really hold that with, it's really dear to my heart, because I think those relationships, you have that with friends, and that is one thing, like a colleague or, a contemporary of yours. But to have that with someone who is older than you, kind of like what you see, in the Bible, of like these Paul and Timothy relationships, where someone who has been through so much and has wisdom to share, that meant a lot to me. And that's something that in my own personal, faith journey, I want to one day be that for someone else as well.
Awesome. That's awesome. And he's still impacting lives today. So you hit on a great man.
Yeah.
Okay, final question. I just want to ask you if you had any advice for our current student athletes that you could offer from your time at Hope, looking back and kind of speak to them real quickly. What advice would you give our current student athletes?
Yeah. Oh man, again, not to stay away from the cliche, soak it up. That's a given. It really flies by so quickly. I think the most genuine advice that I could give is just buy into the team. The idea of a team only being able to function if everyone buys in to its highest potential. And that is tough in an athletic sense when only 5 people are on the court at one time. That's tough when some players are just not going to get the same type of playing time. But I think in every single successful team and organization, it's when everyone buys into it is not about me, it is about us. Mm-hmm. So that means that some people will have more shine, but it's everyone buying in practice. It's pushing each other. It's having a standard and sticking to that. It's keeping one another accountable. It's a total buy-in to seeing the group succeed over the individual. Mm-hmm. I think that especially where hope is just as speaking, directly as a basketball program, the MIAA is tough. Division III in the Great Lakes region is very, very tough to get out of. And it is the teams that buy into everyone together. It doesn't matter who scores or who does what. I think, I was just watching UConn yesterday, and that team, I think, really exemplifies people who are just bought in. You have a guy like, Donovan Clingan, who's a 7-footer who has won the national championship his freshman year. He comes back. He's battling with injuries. He doesn't make it all about him because he's been there and he knows what it takes to make sure that, getting transfers like Cam Spencer, like up to speed and feeling comfortable and knowing that, hey, he has a hot hand right now. That to me is those are what champions do, from top to bottom. So that would be my advice to, players below is just bring that up, cultivate that within your teams of just total buy-in to the group.
Well, I would tell you as a coach, I can't think of better information to share with our current athletes. And then coming from you, one of our most decorated, if not the most decorated basketball player to play at Hope. And you're talking about buy-in, you're talking about team first. And that means a lot. And I think current athletes and then prospective recruits can really resonate with that and benefit from it. So I appreciate that advice. Yeah. H, I appreciate your time. I'm so happy with what you're doing and how you're representing our program day in and day out. Excited for Christy doing her thing, and can't wait to get out to see you guys. We missed you in New York. Sorry about that.
I know, like ships in the night. I was so bummed.
Yep. But hey, appreciate your time, and man, as always, you're the man. Appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you so much for having me on.
You betcha. Go Hope.
Go Hope.